Example 2. If you read the problem, it says there's a bar of uniform area of 100 square. It's fixed at the one end and a tensile force of 1000 Newton acts at the free end. The question says form a finite element model of this bar with three equal length elements and find out nodal displacements, stresses, reaction vector. E can be assumed to be 2E5 megapascal. Now here the problem clearly says three equal length elements. It is not always necessary that it is equal length. Each element can have its own length, but in this particular problem it is given as equal length elements, three of them. Okay, now we will solve this step by step. What is given is we have this bar, the length is 300 and there is a force of 1000 Newton acts here. Area A of the bar is given as 100 square and E is given as 2E5 megapascal. The first step is, since they have asked us to use three equal length elements, we will have three elements here. This is element 1, this is element 2, and this is element 3. And each element will have 100 length. The force acting is 1000 Newton. Let us number the nodes as 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you, the first step is write element stiffness matrix for each element. We have three elements here, and for each of them we have to write the element stiffness matrix. If you remember the element stiffness matrix for a bar element, it is AE over L, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. This is a general stiffness matrix for any bar element. In this particular problem, all the elements have the same area, same E, same L. So what I can do for this particular problem is, I can say that element stiffness matrix of element 1 will be the same as element 2 will be the same as element 3, because all three of them are equal. A is same for all elements, that is 100. E is same for all elements, that is 2E5, and length is also same, each one is same 100 long. So we can write that for all the elements the stiffness matrix will be the same. We cannot do this even if one of them is different. Supposing that each one has different length, then you will write K1 is A1 I'm sorry, AE over L1, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Then for second element you will write AE over L2 like that. So now I have for each element I have written the stiffness matrix. Now let me write the global stiffness matrix GSM. I know that this model has 4 nodes, so the GSM will be of size 4 by 4. So say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So for the first element, it will be from here, 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 and here. But since AE over L is same for all the elements, I can take it outside AE over L. So here I have 1, minus 1, minus 1, 1. Then I'm going to say take the second element stiffness matrix, which is again the same. So what I will do is here I will this 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 will start here. So I put plus 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Now this red color is for element number 2. Now for element number 3, same thing, but it will start from here. So plus 1 minus 1 minus 1 plus 1. So other things will be 0. So this is the global stiffness matrix K. Now we have to write that equation, which is K times U equals F. For me, K is this. So this is K. That is AE over L 1 minus 1 0 0 minus 1 2 minus 1 0 0 minus 1 2 minus 1 0 0 minus 1 1. This is K. Now U, we said U is displacement vector. So we have U1. There are 4 nodes. So U1, U2, U3, and U. K U equals F. F is F1, F2, F3, F4. Now we have to apply the boundary conditions. The boundary conditions are node 1 of the bar is fixed. Here node 1 is fixed. So we have to go to the first row and first column and eliminate and remove that. First row and first column, they will be removed. So we are left with 2 minus 1 0 minus 1 2 minus 1 0 minus 1 1 times u2 u3 u4 equals, now this F2 F3 F4 are the forces acting at node 2, node 3 and node 4. If you see the problem, the force is acting only at node 4. At node 2 and node 3 we don't have any forces acting. Here and here we don't have any forces acting. The only force acting is at node 4, and that is 1000 Newton. That means F2 will be 0, F3 will be 0, F4 will be 1000 positive because it goes towards right. And here what I do, this AE over L is here. Now I bring it this side. So when it comes it here, it will be L over AE because it is division. Now this L, E, A, all these things are given to us. So that means this thing equals, now here we have to be very careful. This L is for one element. All the time it is for only one element. That is 100, length of one element. Area of the element is 100 again. Elastic modulus is 2 e power 5 megapascal. So it is Newton per mm square times 0, 0, 1000. If you do the simplifications here on the right hand side, you will get 0, 0. Here 1000 over 2e5. Here it will be 1000 5 10 raised to minus 3. This is on the right side. After you simplify this, here we have the same thing. The same things here. This is a 3 by 3 matrix. This is a 3 by 1 vector, and here also we have a 3 by 1 vector. Now we have to solve this equation. By simple matrix multiplication, we have 2u2 minus u3 equals 0. This is the first equation. That is 2u2 minus u3 equals 0. This is first equation. And second equation will be minus u2 plus 2u3 minus u4 will be 0. It is minus u2 plus 2u3 minus u4 will be 0. This is equation number 2. And then the last equation is minus u3 plus u4 equals 5 10 power minus 3. This is third equation. So we have these three equations now. So we can solve these three equations. If you take from equation 1, we have 2u2 equals u3, or u2 will be half u3. Now use in 2. So wherever I have u2, I will write I will write 0.5 u3. So this becomes minus 0.5 u3 plus 2 u3 minus u4 equals to 0. So let us say this is 2a. Now we have two equations from 2a and 3. If you solve this, you will get the following solution. You can check this yourself, but you will get the following answer. That is u3 will be 0.01 millimeter, and u4 will be 0.015 millimeter, and then if you use these two values in this equation, you will have u2 is half of u3. u3 is this much, so u2 will be 0.005 millimeter. So these three are the values we are getting for the displacement. Where is u1? u1 is 0, we know it because it is fixed as given in the problem. So this is the first thing we needed to find. We wanted to find nodal displacements, so we found the nodal displacements, and these are the nodal displacements. So if you want to write the nodal displacement vector, u equals u1, u2, u3, u4 transpose, because I want to save space, so I'm done. Instead of writing as a column vector, I write it as a row vector and then use transpose. So this will be 0 because u1 is 0, u2 is 0.005, u3 is 0.01, and u4 is 0.015 millimeter transpose. Okay. This is the displacement vector we wanted to find. The next thing is we want to find the stresses in each element. We have 3 elements, so for all 3 elements I want to find the stresses. To find the stresses, we know the This completes the displacement. Now to find the stresses, we know that this is the equation to find the stress in each element, that is sigma equals E. B is nothing but 1 over x2 minus x1 minus 1 1. This is B and this is U, U1 U2. So if I use this for the first element, I will write 2E5 because that is the value of E times 1 over x2 minus x1 is nothing but length of the element. So here we know length of the element is 100 millimeter. So this is 1 over 100 times minus 1 1. Here U1 is 0, we know it. U2 we found to be 0.005. So this is 0.005. If you do the multiplication, then you will find this to be 10 Newton per millimeter square. This is for first element. Now for the second element, again 2E5. Even for the second element, we should write x3 minus x2, but x3 minus x2 is nothing but again length of the element, which is 100 as before, because in this problem we have been using elements of equal length. So this will also be 100 minus 1 1. Here, so earlier this was U1 and this was U2. Now second element we should write U3, I'm sorry, U2 and U3. But U2 is this 0.005 and U3 was 0.01. Again, if you do the simplification of this, you will find this to be 10 Newton per mm square. Now the third element, same length as before, so 100 minus 1 1. Now I should write U3 U4. U3 was 0.01 and U4 was 0.015. This will also give you 10 Newton per mm square. And this is how we can find the stresses. How do we know this is correct? How do you know these stress values are correct? Because it's a very simple problem of a bar of area 100, and then that is, if you want to how do you know this is correct? We can check it. Force is 1000, area is 100, so stress must be 1000 over 100, that is 10. This we know by simple formula. We know that stress is equal to force over area, so we expect 10. So that's the same 10 we are getting here. And this is how we can check the solution. Right. So we have completed displacements and stresses. The third thing is reaction vector. Here this is C to find reaction vector. We said that if in a body or in a structure, if some nodes are fixed from movement, then at those nodes you will expect reactions. So in this problem, we have node 1 fixed. So that means this is a support. So reactions will always happen at the supports. So we expect a value of, we expect some reaction here at node 1, and since node 2, node 3, node 4 are free to move, there will not be any reactions at these nodes. Only node 1, which is being stopped from moving, can produce a reaction. But we already saw how to find the reactions. We'll use this equation, R equals Ku minus F. R equals Ku minus F. But what is this R? This R is in general R1, R2, R3, R4, because in general the nodes can have reaction, but we will put it anyway 0 later. So this will be, now this is the K, the original K, what we had used here. This is the original K value. So that is AE over L 1 minus 1 0 0 minus 1 2 minus 1 0 0 minus 1 2 minus 1 0 0 minus 1 1. Okay, this is K. But what is this U? This U is nothing but U1, U2, U3, U4. We have these numbers here. U1 is 0, U2 is 0.05, this is 0.01, this is 0.015. So this is K, this is K, and this is U. So K U minus F. F1 0, F2 0, F3 0, F4 is 1000. Here at this point, either we can find R1, R2, R3, R4 and then come to know about the values, or we can simply write R2, R3, R4 will be 0, because we already discussed this, that you will have a reaction only if you are restricted from moving. So either you can put straight away 0, 0, 0 here, or you can find it. So we will find it and then verify whether our statement is true or not. So first let us go for R1. Here we can use the value of A as 100, E as 2, E5 and L as 100. So this 100 will get cancelled here. You will have only 2E5. The whole thing will be only 2E5. Okay. So let's start with R1. 2E5 here. So let us have this 2E5 here. 1 times 0 minus 1 times 0.05. So here we'll have 0.05 minus. If you multiply this with this, because these two are zeros, it won't make any difference here. So this is, these numbers are this, minus here we have 0. So this will give you R1 is minus 1000 Newton. What does this minus tell you? This minus says the reaction force will be in opposite direction to that of the applied force. Applied force was 1000 Newton, so the reaction force is minus 1000 Newton. Now let us, just for purpose of checking, we will see what is R2. Remember, we expect R2 to be 0. R2, R3, R4, all three should be 0. Let us see whether it happens. So here we have 2E5 as before. Inside, minus 1 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0.05 is 0.1. Point 1. A minus 1 times 0.01. I think I made a mistake here. U2 should be point. We found U2 to be 0.005, not 10. So here is a mistake. So this should be U2 will be point another 0, 0.005. So here will be, I should write here 0.005. Here it should be 0.01 now, not 0.1, minus this 1 times 0.01. So this will be 0 minus 0. So this will give you R2 will be 0. This is what we expected. You can check this in the same way. You can check for R2 and R4 also, and you will find that you will get 0, which must be the case because they were free to move. These nodes 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4 were free to move. They should not produce any reactions. So you can, I will leave it for you to check whether you have R3 as 0 and R4 is also will be 0, should be 0. So if you want to write the reaction vector, will be R1, R2, R3, R4 transpose. This will be minus 1000. All others are zeros. Newton transpose. Okay. So we can check that if you sum the reaction forces and the applied forces, you should get 0. So we get that reaction was 1000, applied force was 1000, so we get 0. That's how we can check this. So before we saw how we can check for the stresses. We said it is just a simple formula of force over area, and we found that the 10 what we got from the formula is the same 10 what we get from this procedure. But we did not check for the displacements. That is, for part A, check for the displacements. U2, U3, U4 from theory, against the theory. We know that before I go there, we have to be clear about one thing. So this is the bar we discussed. Now this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is node number 4. We found u1 was 0 because it's given to us. It's fixed, so it will be 0. And we found u2 to be 0.005. This u3 was 0.01. And this u4 was 0.015 millimeters. But how do we know these are the nodal displacements? But how much extension or contraction the bar has gone? For example, if I want to find what is the total change in length delta 1 2 means this portion, what is the change in length of this portion alone? We have the formula from mechanics of materials that this is the equation to find the elongation or compression of a bar. So if I use this equation for the segment 1 2 only, and I know by the way that this length is 100 mm. This length is 100 mm. Similarly, this length is also 100 mm. Also this. So if I want to find delta 1 2, what I should do is P is 1000, length is 100 mm, A is 100, and then E is 2E5. If I do that, I will have this 100 will get cancelled. So I have 1000 over 2E5, which will be 5 times 10 power minus 3, which is nothing but 0.005. So we proved our answer with the answer we must expect from theory. Now similarly, you can do for 2 3, you can do for 3 4, like that. But the thing I wanted to say here is u2 is nothing but u1 plus delta 1 2. Because what is the displacement of this node is simply the displacement of this node plus the displacement happening between these two limits. Okay. But here in this problem we know u1 is 0, so u2 will be 0 plus 0.005, that is 0.005. We can also verify this. Now similarly, if I want to find the change in length of the entire bar, so that means I want to find the change in length between the entire bar, this delta 1 4. If you use the theory, then you'll have P force is 1000, and length, now I am considering the whole bar. So this is using theory, by the way. This is by theory. So 1000 times length will be 300 now over 100 area. E is this. Now if you see, you will have 3000 over 2E5. You will have 0.015. This is delta 1 4. But what is u? If you apply this equation, I can write u4 is u1 plus delta 1 4. Again, I know u1 is 0. Delta 1 4 I found is to be 0.015. So u4 will be 0.015. So which is the same solution we got here. So this is also checked. Now this is how you should check once you finish the solution using finite element method. You should check for it for the accuracy of the solution using the basic theory which we know. Let me clear this and go to the next problem. So this is the tutorial. Now if you see this problem against the last problem which we just solved, here you can see there are two elements, but the area is not the same. The length is also not the same, and the force is acting in between, and there are two fixed supports. So this problem is different from the last problem in many different ways. This is tutorial. So here is the bar. This is one area, and this is another area. This length is 300, and that is 400. And areas are also different. The area of 1 is 1000, and area of 2 is 500. So this A1 is 1000 mm square, and this A2 is 500 mm square. And the force is acting here. That value of the force is 200 kilonewton. And E is given as 1 E5 megapascal. So I will tell you the differences what you should consider, and then I leave it to you to solve this problem. So if you have, for this problem we have two elements, node 1, node 2, node 3, element 1, element 2. When we write the stiffness matrix for element 1, now if you see you have two elements, the only thing common between them is this E. So only that can stay out. For example, here you will write A1 E over L1 times 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Since E is the only thing common between these two elements, So I can keep E outside and rewrite this as I bring this A1 over L1 term inside and write A1 over L1 minus A1 over L1 minus A1 over L1 A1 over L1. Okay, this is for the first element. Now for the second element, by the way, here for A1 you will say it is 1000. L1 is 300 in this matrix. And then if you do for second element, I can use this form here. So E will stay out because it is common for both elements, and simply I will write this as A2 over L2 minus A2 over L2 A2 over L2 and A2 over L2. Now I have these two matrices. For each element I have written the element stiffness matrix. Now we know that since we have three nodes, the GSM size should be 3 by 3, so that K will be something like this. Here I have 1, 2, 3. Here I have 1, 2, 3. So here in this area I will have from the first element, that is A1 over L1 minus A1 over L1 minus A1 over L1. Here A1 over L1. This is from the first element. Now from the second element, this thing will come here. This thing will come and sit from here. So here I will write A2 L2 minus A2 L2 minus A2 L2 A2 over L2. This will be 0 and this will be 0. This is the global stiffness matrix. Now once we write the global stiffness matrix, the other things are easy. That is, you will write K U equals F, but here U will be only a vector of 3 elements because we have only 3 nodes. So this is K. Now U will be so this K you will write here as it is. U will be U1, U2, U3, and F will be F1, F2, F3. But if you see this now this is the time to apply the boundary conditions. In the last problem, only node 1 was fixed, so we removed first row and first column. Now here node 1 and node 3 both are fixed. So what you will do is, in this, from this equation, you will remove first row, first column in the K matrix. So assume that K matrix is like this here. This is the first row, this is the second row, and this is the third row. Okay, first row, first column will be removed, and third row, third column will also be removed. So you have, if you see here, you will have only this term left. And that is the term that will be here. So now it was 3 by 3 originally. Since you have removed 2 rows and 2 columns, you are left with only one number here. It is no more a matrix, it is just a number. That number times U2 equals F2. F2 is given as 200 kilonewton. Of course, use the proper units here. And then solve for u2. Once you solve for u2, then you can find the stresses in each of these two elements. But again, there's a difference between the last case and this case. In the last case, all was tensile stresses because the bar was supported and the other ends are free to move. So we had all tensile stresses. If you remember the last problem, we had 10 megapascal, all are positive, meaning they are tensile. But here, it is not the case. The reason is, you can see this figure, something is pulling first element, so this will be under tension, and at the same time these two will be compressed. So here you will have both tensile and compressive stresses. That is one thing. And second thing is, since both the ends are fixed here, if first element extends by say 1 mm, then the second element must compress by the same amount 1 mm, because there is no way to escape. Whatever is happening should happen between these two supports. So if this is extending by say 1 mm, then the other part, the second element, should compress by 1 mm because this distance is fixed. So this is the other thing you have to keep in mind. Okay, you can solve this equation, this problem, put the numbers, and then we will check the answers.